The fox girl wouldn't let me sleep until I finally scratched her tail, the night cycle on station. L-77 was supposed to be quiet. For most species, it was. For the human engineer named Aaron Cole, it had become a long, sleepless problem. He lay on his narrow bunk, staring at the ceiling panel as the station lights dimmed to their artificial dusk. The hum of life support systems was steady and calm, tuned carefully for dozens of different species. The air smelled faintly of recycled oxygen and metal. Everything was working exactly as it should. Everything except sleep. A soft tapping sound came from the other side of the small shared living space. Tap, tap, pause, tap, tap. Aaron groaned quietly and rolled onto his side, pulling his blanket over his head. He already knew what he would see if he looked. He had seen it every night for the past week. Another tap. Then a faint sigh. "Aaron," came a soft voice, careful with the human syllables. "Are you awake?" Aaron closed his eyes tighter. "No," he said automatically. There was a pause. Then the sound of light footsteps. The fox girl stood near his bunk, ears upright and twitching, her long tail swaying behind her in slow, restless movements. Her name was Lyrian, a diplomatic observer from the Viari Collective. To humans, she looked like something from old fantasy stories. Humanoid shape, soft orange and white fur, large expressive eyes, and a tail that never seemed to stop moving. To the galaxy, she was considered calm, intelligent, and perfectly stable. To Aaron, she was the reason he hadn't slept more than 3 hours a night. "I think you are awake," Lyrian said politely. "Your breathing changed," Aaron sighed, and pushed the blanket down. "Yes, I'm awake." Her ears tilted forward with visible relief. "Good. I was hoping you would be." "That makes one of us," he muttered. Lyrian either didn't hear the tone or chose to ignore it. She stood there, hands folded, tail flicking back and forth like it was trying to make a decision on its own. She looked uncomfortable, though she would never say so directly. Viari culture valued emotional control, especially in diplomatic settings. Unfortunately, control didn't seem to help whatever was happening to her. "Is something wrong?" Aaron asked, already knowing the answer. "I am uncertain," she replied. "That is the problem." He sat up, rubbing his face. The station clock, projected softly on the wall, read 2:13. Another night gone. "You said that last night," he said. "And the night before that?" "And the night before that one, too." "Yes," Lyrian agreed. "The problem has been consistent," Great Aaron said. "At least it's reliable." She tilted her head, considering this. "Is reliability not desirable?" "Not when it keeps me awake," he said, then sighed again. "What's bothering you, Lyrian?" She hesitated. Her tail slowed, then resumed, flicking faster than before. "I cannot rest," she said quietly. "When I attempt to enter sleep cycle, my thoughts become crowded." Aaron leaned back against the wall. "Crowded how?" "Like being watched," she said. "But not by eyes. By absence." That made him pause. "That's unsettling." "Yes," she agreed. "I have reported this to the station AI, the medical unit, and my superiors. All scans indicate I am healthy." "Lucky you," Aaron said. "Meanwhile, I look like a zombie." "What is a zombie?" "Never mind." Lyrian shifted her weight, clearly unsure what to do next. For a moment, Aaron thought she might leave. Instead, she remained, tail brushing lightly against the floor. "There is something else," she said. Aaron closed his eyes for a second. "Of course there is. When you are nearby," she continued, "the sensation is less intense." He opened his eyes. "You're saying I'm... what? Calming?" "Yes," she said simply. "Your presence reduces the discomfort by approximately 37%. He stared at her. "You measured that?" "I keep records," she said. "It helps me understand anomalies." "Great," Aaron said. "I'm an anomaly now." Lyrian's ears drooped slightly. "I apologize. I did not intend to cause you distress." Her tone was sincere, and that took the edge off his frustration. Aaron sighed again, softer this time. "Look," he said, "I know this isn't your fault, but humans kind of need sleep to function. My job involves things that explode if I mess up." She stiffened immediately. The station is not in danger, is it? No, he said quickly. I was exaggerating. Mostly. Her ears relaxed. Good. They sat in silence for a moment. The station hummed on, unaware of the small crisis unfolding in one shared compartment. Why me? Aaron asked finally. Lyrian blinked. I do not understand. Why do you keep coming to me? He said. There are hundreds of crew members here. Doctors, psych specialists, people who actually signed up for diplomatic stuff. She looked down at her hands. Because you do not feel distant, he frowned. Distant how? Most species keep their minds tightly ordered, she explained. Yours do not. They are noisy, flexible, and open. It is uncomfortable at first, but also warm. Aaron didn't know what to say to that. I think, she continued carefully, that my species evolved to rest in groups. Physical closeness regulated our neural cycles. The collective records mention this, but only in historical context. It was assumed no longer necessary. And now? He asked. Now I am alone, she said. The words were simple, but they landed heavily. Aaron scratched the back of his head. Okay, that explains the problem. Doesn't really explain the solution. She hesitated, then stepped a little closer to his bunk. Not close enough to touch. Just close enough for her tail to brush the air near his knee. When your hand moved earlier, she said, near my tail by accident, the sensation nearly stopped. When did I touch your tail? You did not, she corrected. You almost did. The air movement was sufficient, he swallowed. Galactic law was very clear about interspecies contact, especially with sensory organs, especially with diplomatic personnel. That's complicated, he said slowly. Yes, she agreed. Everything important usually is. She looked at him expectantly. Aaron rubbed his face again. Lyrian, I can't just do things like that. There are rules, forms, people who get very angry. I am not requesting an action, she said quickly. Only sharing data, right, he said. Data that keeps me awake. Her ears lowered again. I will stop coming to you at night, he looked up sharply. You don't have to. I am causing harm, she said. That is unacceptable. She turned to leave. Something about the way her tail drooped made Aaron's chest tighten. Wait, he said. She stopped, looking back. I didn't say that, he said. I just need time to think. Her ears perked slightly. You will consider it? I'll consider understanding it, he said. That's the best I can promise right now. That seemed to be enough. She nodded once and moved back toward her own sleeping alcove. As she lay down, her tail continued to flick restlessly, brushing against the edge of her bedding. Aaron lay back on his bunk, staring at the ceiling again. He still didn't sleep. But for the first time, he wasn't sure the problem was just exhaustion. Something deeper was happening on Station L77, and humanity once again had wandered into a problem the galaxy didn't even know how to name. Morning on station. L77 arrived without sunlight instead. The overhead panels shifted slowly from night blue to soft white, signaling the start of the work cycle. Aaron Cole noticed the change only because his eyes were already open. He had not slept. Again, he lay still for several minutes, listening to the station wake up. Doors slid open in distant corridors. Footsteps echoed softly. The hum of machines deepened as power levels increased. Life continued, efficient and calm, while his mind felt heavy and slow. Across the shared living space, Lyrian was already awake. She sat on the edge of her resting alcove, posture straight, hands folded in her lap. Her tail moved in slow, uneven motions behind her, brushing the floor. She looked toward Aaron, then quickly looked away. As if unsure whether she was allowed to acknowledge him yet, Aaron pushed himself up with a quiet groan. You didn't sleep either, did you? He asked. Lyrian's ears twitched. I entered rest cycle for 12 minutes, she said. Then my thoughts became loud again. 12 minutes, Aaron repeated. That's impressive. I am not sure if that is sarcasm, she said. It is, he replied gently. But not aimed at you. She nodded, accepting that they prepared for the day in silence. Aaron pulled on his uniform and boots, moving more slowly than usual. Lyrian adjusted the simple diplomatic sash she wore, smoothing it with careful motions. Every now and then, Aaron caught her glancing at him, then quickly looking away again. When they stepped into the corridor, the station felt busier than usual. Different species moved in organized streams toward their work areas. Tall, thin Keth passed by in quiet groups. Heavy-set Rulans moved with slow confidence. A pair of floating Orin drifted overhead, their translators humming softly. And then there were the looks, not obvious ones. Not rude ones. Just small pauses. Slight turns of heads. Curious glances that lingered a second too long. Aaron felt them immediately. "Why is everyone staring?" he muttered. "They are observing," Lyrian said. "You are human. Humans are still interesting." "Great," he said. "I love being interesting." She tilted her head. "Is that also sarcasm?" "Yes." They reached the central operations ring, where their paths would normally split. Lyrian was scheduled to attend a cultural exchange briefing. Aaron was due in Engineering Sector C, to oversee maintenance on the gravity stabilizers. Lyrian hesitated instead of turning away. "Aaron," she said. He stopped. "Yeah. I reviewed historical archives last night," she said. "About my species? Couldn't sleep. So you read your own medical history?" He asked. "Yes, that tracks." Her ears flicked, but she continued. "The records confirmed that tail contact was once a standard social practice. It regulated stress, sleep, and emotional balance." "Once," Aaron said carefully. "Yes," she agreed. "Before integration into the collective..." He frowned. "And the collective just decided you didn't need that anymore?" "They believed technology and discipline could replace instinct," she said. "For most Feyari, that appears to be true. And for you?" he asked. She looked down. "I may be an exception." Aaron exhaled slowly. "Lyrian, I don't want you thinking there's something wrong with you." "I do not believe something is wrong," she said. "I believe something is missing." That word stayed with him as they separated. Missing. Engineering Sector C was loud, bright, and full of movement. Aaron welcomed the distraction at first. He ran diagnostics, approved maintenance logs, and recalibrated sensors. But his mind felt slow, like it was moving through water. He caught himself staring at readouts without understanding them, then shaking his head to refocus. "Rough night?" asked Yolan, another human engineer. "You have no idea," Aaron said. Yalan glanced at him. "You look terrible. Thanks." "No, I mean it," Yalan said. "You usually look only slightly terrible." Aaron snorted despite himself. "Everything okay?" Yolan asked more seriously. Aaron considered lying. It would be easier. But humans were bad at holding things in when exhausted. "I'm sharing quarters with a Fox alien diplomat who can't sleep," he said. "And somehow, that's my problem." Yalan stared at him. "I'm sorry." "Did you say Fox alien?" "Yes, with a tail?" Yolan asked. "Yes." Yalan leaned back, hands behind his head. "Of course you are." "Don't make it weird," Aaron said quickly. "I'm not," Yalan replied. "I'm just impressed. Usually it takes years for humans to accidentally bond with another species." "I did not bond," Aaron said. "Nothing happened." Gulen said, "Sure." Aaron walked away before the conversation could get worse. By mid-cycle, the station AI requested Aaron's presence in a consultation room. That alone was unusual. The AI usually communicated through messages, unless something was wrong. The room was quiet and softly lit. A projection sphere hovered in the center, glowing faintly. "Aaron Cole," the AI said. "Thank you for arriving promptly. Do I have a choice?" Aaron asked. "Not really," the AI replied calmly. "Figures. Your biometric data indicates severe sleep deprivation," the AI continued. "This is affecting your performance," noted Aaron said. Additionally, the AI said, "Your proximity patterns to diplomatic observer Lyrian of the Viari Collective are statistically unusual." Aaron stiffened. "Unusual how?" You spend 34% more non-task-related time within her proximity than required, the AI said. This is not a violation. However, it is atypical. Great, Aaron muttered. So now I'm a statistic. I am analyzing a correlation, the AI continued. Lyrian's neural stress markers decrease when you are nearby. Aaron closed his eyes. You know about that, yes, the AI said. I did not previously understand the cause. Do you now? Aaron asked. Not fully, the AI replied, which is why you are here. Aaron let out a long breath. Let me guess. You want me to fix it? I want you to help me understand it, the AI said. Humans often perceive solutions that are not immediately logical. That sounds dangerous, Aaron said. History suggests otherwise, the AI replied. Aaron thought of Lyrian's restless tale. Her quiet voice, the way she had looked when she thought she was causing harm. Galactic law is very strict about physical contact, he said. Yes, the AI agreed. However, the law exists to prevent harm, not prolong it. Aaron looked up at the glowing sphere. Are you saying there's a loophole? I am saying, the AI said carefully, that consent-based, non-invasive interaction may be reconsidered under medical observation. Aaron's heart beat faster. You're serious? Yes, the AI said. But only after thorough review and approval. By who? Aaron asked. The Vayari Collective, the AI replied. And the station's ethics board. Aaron laughed weakly. So about 100 beings from 20 species. Correct. That'll go well. Meanwhile, Lyrian sat in the cultural exchange chamber, barely listening to the discussion around her. Representatives debated trade customs and symbolic gestures, their voices blending into a dull background noise. Her thoughts kept drifting. She felt tired in a way that went beyond rest. A deep, quiet ache that sat behind her eyes and at the base of her tail. She held herself perfectly still, afraid that if she moved too much, someone would notice how badly she wanted to. Wanted what? She wasn't sure. She remembered her homeworld. Dense forests. Warm nights. Others like her resting close together, tails overlapping without thought. The memory felt distant now, like something borrowed from another life. When the session ended, she stood slowly, steadying herself. As she stepped into the corridor, she nearly collided with Aaron. Oh, she said softly. Hey, he replied. They stood there awkwardly for a moment. I was just coming to find you, Aaron said. Her ears lifted slightly. Was there a problem? Sort of, he said, but maybe also a solution. She watched his face carefully. Humans were expressive even when trying not to be. His eyes were tired, but focused, determined. I spoke with the station AI, he continued, and some things might change? Change how? She asked. He hesitated. It's not decided yet. There are rules, reviews. She nodded. I understand, but he added, they're starting to listen. Her tail stilled for the first time that day. That is unexpected, she said. Humans are good at unexpected, he replied. As they walked together down the corridor, something shifted between them. Nothing dramatic. No sudden answers. Just the quiet sense that the galaxy once again was about to learn something it had overlooked. And this time, it started with something as simple as understanding why a fox girl could not sleep. Review process moved slower than Aaron expected. That alone made him nervous. Station L77 was famous for efficiency. Decisions were logged, analyzed, and approved with clean logic. Yet when the subject involved humans and instincts and something as personal as touch, the system seemed unsure how to proceed. Aaron noticed the change. Immediately, doors took longer to open when he and Lyrian walked together. The station AI asked more questions than usual. Crew members paused conversations when they passed. No one accused them of anything. No one stopped them. But the attention was there, quiet and careful. Lyrian felt it too. She walked with perfect posture, as always, but her tail betrayed her mood. It moved in small, sharp motions, never fully relaxing. Aaron noticed it more now that he understood what it meant. stress, discomfort, holding something in. They sat together in a small observation room, waiting for another consultation to begin. The room was designed for calm, soft lighting, neutral colors. A window showing a slow drift of stars. Aaron rubbed his eyes. "You should rest," Lyrian said softly. "Can't," he replied. "Too many people watching my brain patterns." She considered that. "That sounds unpleasant." "Yeah," he said. "Welcome to being human." She tilted her head slightly. "I am beginning to think humans experience discomfort differently. Constantly," he said. "We just complain about it more." She almost smiled. Almost. A soft tone filled the room as the station AI activated. "Aaron Cole, Lyrian of the VRE Collective," it said. "Thank you for your patience." "Do we have a verdict?" Aaron asked. "Not yet," the AI replied. "However, a controlled interaction trial has been proposed." Lyrian's ears lifted sharply. "A trial?" She asked. "Yes," the AI said. "Limited in duration, fully voluntary. Under medical supervision." Aaron swallowed. "What kind of interaction?" The AI paused for half a second, a sign it was choosing its words carefully. "Minimal physical contact," it said. "Specifically, non-invasive touch directed at the base of Lyrian's tail." The room went very quiet. Aaron felt his face warm. "You say that like it's a lab procedure." "It is," the AI replied calmly. Lyrian's tail froze mid-motion. "I consent." "It," she said immediately. Aaron turned to her. "Lyrian, I understand the implications," she said, "and the risks. But I cannot continue like this." Her voice was steady, but her hands clenched together in her lap. Aaron looked back at the AI. "What about me?" "You have the right to refuse," the AI said. "No negative outcome will result." He thought of the sleepless nights, the mistakes he was starting to make, the way Lyrian looked smaller somehow when she thought she was causing harm. "I consent," said. The AI acknowledged them both. "The trial will take place in a controlled environment," it said. "A medical chamber. Sensors will monitor neurological, hormonal, and stress responses." "Of course they will," Aaron muttered. The walk to the medical wing felt longer than usual. Neither of them spoke much. Not because they had nothing to say, but because saying the wrong thing felt too easy. When they reached the chamber, the door slid open to reveal a clean, softly lit space. A single, padded seating platform sat in the center. Medical scanners hovered quietly nearby, already active. Lyrian stopped just inside the doorway. "If you change your mind," she said quietly, "I will understand." Aaron looked at her. She wasn't looking at him as a solution, or a tool, or even a comfort. She was looking at him like a person who trusted him. "I won't," he said. They sat on the platform, leaving a careful distance between them. The scanners adjusted, lights shifting as they locked onto vital signs. "Begin when ready," the AI said. Aaron hesitated. He had worked on fusion cores and gravity fields. He had repaired systems that could crush a human body in a second if handled wrong. This felt harder. "Just tell me if it's too much," he said. "I will," Lyrian replied. Slowly, carefully, Aaron raised his hand. He didn't touch her at first. He let her see the movement. Let her choose whether to pull away. She didn't. Her tail lay curled beside her, fur smooth and warm-looking. He could see the small, involuntary movements running through it, like tension trapped under the surface. He lowered his hand until his fingers brushed lightly against the fur near the base of her tail. The reaction was immediate. Lyrian inhaled sharply, her back straightening. For a terrifying moment, Aaron thought he had made a mistake. Then her shoulders relaxed. The tail stilled. The medical scanners chimed softly as data spiked and then settled. "Neural stress levels decreasing," the AI reported. Rapidly, Lyrian let out a slow breath she seemed to have been holding for days. "It's quiet," she whispered. Aaron didn't move his hand away. "Is that good?" he asked. "Yes," she said. "Very." He adjusted his touch slightly, following instinct more than thought. Just a gentle, steady motion. Nothing forceful. Nothing demanding. Her ears lowered into a relaxed position. Her eyes closed halfway. "This is familiar," she said, "even though I have not experienced it in many cycles." Aaron felt something in his chest ease that he hadn't realized was tight. "You're calming down," he said. "So are you," she replied. He blinked. "How can you tell?" "Your heart rate," she said. "It has slowed." The AI confirmed it silently. Minutes passed. The galaxy didn't end. No alarms sounded. No laws shattered. Instead, something very simple happened. Two beings sat quietly together. Lyrian leaned slightly toward him without realizing it. Aaron adjusted to support the change without breaking contact. "I can feel the station again," she said softly. "Not as noise. As background? Like white noise?" he asked. "Yes," she said. "Comforting." The trial ended sooner than either of them wanted. "Interaction complete," the AI said. "Please separate." Aaron withdrew his hand slowly. The moment contact broke, Lyrian's tail twitched once, then settled again. The stress did not return immediately. "How do you feel?" Aaron asked. "Clear," she said. "And tired. The good kind." He smiled faintly. "Lucky." The medical staff reviewed the data quickly. "Too quickly?" "This changes things," one of them said. "The results are undeniable." Word spread faster than protocol could contain it. By the next cycle, the station buzzed with quiet discussion. Humans were being asked questions. Vayari representatives requested copies of the data. Other species began revisiting old assumptions about emotional regulation. And Aaron? Aaron slept. How long? Not perfectly, but deeply. For the first time in weeks, he woke without feeling like he was dragging himself out of darkness. When he opened his eyes, he found Lyrian sitting nearby, reading quietly. She looked up. "You were sleeping," she said. "I did not wish to disturb you." "Good call," he replied. Her tail moved once, slow and relaxed. "I believe," she said carefully, "that something important has begun." Aaron nodded. He believed that too. Neither of them knew yet how far the consequences would reach. But the galaxy had taken its first step toward understanding something humans had always known. Sometimes the most powerful solutions were not built. They were felt. The changes did not arrive loudly. There were no announcements across Station L77, no alarms, no dramatic shifts in routine. Instead, the station adjusted the way living things often did, quietly, cautiously, with growing curiosity. Aaron noticed it first in the hallways. Crew members no longer avoided eye contact when he walked beside Lyrian. Some still looked surprised, but others looked thoughtful. A few even nodded to him, the way humans did, when they shared an unspoken understanding. Lyrian noticed it in herself, for the first time since arriving at the station. She slept through an entire rest cycle. No sudden waking. No crowded thoughts. No feeling of absence pressing in on her mind. When she woke, her body felt light instead of heavy, and her tail lay still beside her instead of twitching with restless energy. She sat up slowly. Surprised by the feeling rested, she stepped into the shared space where Aaron was already awake. "Sipping something humans called coffee?" "You are alert," she said. He looked at her and smiled. "So are you." She realized then that she was smiling too. Throughout the day, medical staff continued to monitor her condition. Each scan confirmed the same thing: stable neural activity, balanced stress levels, and improved cognitive performance. The data was clean and undeniable. The problem was not the data. The problem was what it meant. The Station Ethics Board convened earlier than planned. Representatives from multiple species gathered in a circular chamber, their forms filling the space in a quiet display of galactic diversity. Screens hovered between them. Displaying charts and readings, Aaron and Lyrian stood together at the center. "You are aware," said a tall, silver-skinned delegate, "that this sets a precedent." "Yes," Aaron said. "Yes." Lyrian echoed. "Emotional regulation through physical contact is not unique," said another representative, "but allowing cross-species participation is rare." Rare does not mean wrong. Aaron replied. A low murmur followed. Humans often say that, the delegate replied, and humans are often right, Aaron said before he could stop himself. Lyrian glanced at him, ears twitching. He met her gaze and shrugged slightly. The station AI presented the findings without bias. Reduced stress markers, improved sleep, increased diplomatic effectiveness. No negative side effects observed. The results, the AI concluded, indicate that controlled, consensual interaction improves individual well-being and station efficiency. That last part caught their attention. Efficiency mattered to the galaxy. After long discussion, the board reached a temporary decision. The interaction would be permitted under strict guidelines. Medical supervision would continue. Documentation would be shared with the Vyari Collective and the Galactic Council. When the meeting ended, neither Aaron nor Lyrian spoke as they walked back through the station. Finally, she broke the silence. I did not expect them to agree, she said. Neither did I, Aaron admitted. I thought they'd argue for weeks. They still may, she said. This is only the beginning, he nodded. Yeah, the galaxy doesn't like discovering it missed something important. That evening, Lyrian returned to the shared quarters earlier than usual. She moved with less tension now, her steps lighter. Her tail swayed slowly, relaxed. Aaron was adjusting a faulty panel near the door when she spoke. Aaron, she said. He turned. What's up? May I sit closer? She asked. The question was polite, careful, and unmistakably sincere, of course. He said. They sat on the seating platform, close enough that he could feel the warmth of her presence. She did not immediately ask for touch. Instead, she simply sat, breathing evenly. For several minutes, neither of them spoke. The station hummed softly around them. Finally, she leaned toward him slightly, a clear and deliberate movement. He raised his hand slowly, giving her time to reconsider. She didn't. His fingers rested gently at the base of her tail, repeating the same calm motion from before. Her response was quieter this time, more controlled. A soft exhale. A subtle shift of posture, her eyes closed. This feels safe, she said. Aaron swallowed. Good. As she relaxed, something else happened. Her breathing slowed. Her muscles loosened. And then, unexpectedly, her thoughts did too. You were thinking loudly, she murmured. He chuckled softly. Sorry. Occupational hazard. She said, It is. Comforting. That was when he realized the effect was not one-sided. His exhaustion faded. His racing thoughts settled. For the first time in days, his mind felt clear without effort. Humans adapted quickly. That was what the galaxy often misunderstood. They did not resist change. They leaned into it. Within days, reports began arriving from other stations. Vyari diplomats elsewhere were experiencing similar issues: restlessness, sleep disruption, emotional strain. The collective requested guidance. The answer surprised them. Human presence helped, not dominance, not technology. Presence humans were assigned as cultural liaisons, companions, observers. In carefully controlled environments, they listened. They adapted. They offered what came naturally to them. Empathy without calculation. Other species watched closely. Some were skeptical. Some were curious. Few were uncomfortable, but results spoke clearly. Conflict mediation improved. Long-standing negotiations moved forward. A species that had struggled with isolation adapted faster when paired with humans. The Galactic Council issued a quiet internal memo. Humans were classified under a new designation. Not warriors, not engineers, not conquerors, emotional stabilizers. Aaron, read the message late one cycle. Sitting alone in the quarters while Lyrian slept nearby, he stared at the words for a long time. Didn't see that coming, he muttered. Lyrian stirred slightly but did not wake. Her tail rested still, a sign of deep rest. He He smiled faintly and returned his attention to her, keeping his movements slow and careful. Across the galaxy, scholars debated the implications. How had they missed this? The answer was simple. They never thought it mattered. Humans had evolved on a chaotic world. Noise, crowds, constant social contact. Their nervous systems learned to regulate through others, not in isolation. Where other species built walls inside their minds, humans built bridges. Now, those bridges were being noticed. Not because humans demanded attention, but because someone finally needed what they offered. Lyrian woke later, refreshed and focused. She looked at Aaron with quiet gratitude. "You stayed," she said. "Yeah," he replied. "Figured I should." Her ears relaxed fully, a sign of deep comfort in VR culture. "The galaxy is changing," she said. "Because of something very small," he shrugged. "That's usually how it starts." She considered him for a long moment. "I am glad," she said, "that I could not sleep." He laughed softly. "Me too." Outside the window, stars drifted slowly past. The galaxy had learned something new, and it was only beginning to understand how deeply human nature could reach. The galaxy did not change all at once. It shifted slowly, like a great body turning in its sleep, unsure at first of what had disturbed it. Station L77 became a quiet example rather than a loud announcement. No banners were raised. No declarations were made. But ships began to arrive more often, carrying observers, researchers, diplomats, who all asked the same careful questions. They watched. They listened. They tried to understand. Aaron Cole noticed the difference in small ways. Meetings ran shorter. Arguments cooled faster. Species that once avoided shared spaces now sat closer together, not touching but not pulling away either. And Lyrian changed too. She stood taller now, her movements sure and unguarded. Her tail no longer flicked with restless energy. Instead, it moved only when she was thinking, or amused, or content. Sleep came easily to her, and when she woke, she carried that calm into her work. The VRE Collective sent a formal request. They wanted her to speak, not as a diplomat repeating prepared statements, but as an individual. The chamber was vast, filled with holographic representatives from her species spread across many systems. Lyrian stood at the center, her image projected to thousands of distant worlds. She did not speak immediately. She took a breath. "I was taught," she began, "that discipline could replace instinct. That control was superior to need. That reliance was weakness." There was no response, only attention. "I believed this," she continued, "until I could not sleep, until my thoughts became crowded and empty at the same time." Her tail moved slowly behind her. "I was not broken," she said. "I was incomplete." Murmurs rippled through the network. She spoke of Station L77, of humans. Of Aaron, though she did not name him at first. Of how presence mattered more than procedure. "When I rested beside another being," she said, "my mind remembered something my culture had forgotten. It was safe to rest. That it was allowed to need." The collective listened. And for the first time in generations, they did not dismiss instinct as outdated. Across the galaxy, similar conversations began. Not dramatic ones. Quiet ones. Species reviewed old records. Behaviors once labeled unnecessary were reconsidered. Emotional needs once hidden behind protocol were acknowledged. Humans did not lead these discussions. They were simply present when they happened. Aaron received reassignment offers from 3 different stations within a week. He declined them all. When Yolan asked why, he only shrugged. "I'm kind of busy here," he said. Yolan smirked. "Yeah, saving the galaxy with empathy, I heard." "Don't make it weird," Aaron replied. "I absolutely will," Yolan said. Life on Station L77 settled into a new normal. Aaron still worked in engineering. Things still broke. Systems still needed fixing. Humans still complained about bad coffee and long shifts, but something had eased. In the evenings, Aaron and Lyrian often sat together in the observation room. Sometimes they spoke. Sometimes they didn't. Sometimes his hand rested gently where it was now allowed to rest. Sometimes it didn't. What mattered was choice. One cycle, as stars drifted past the window, Lyrian spoke softly. "Do humans ever wonder why they are the way they are?" she asked. "All the time," Aaron replied. "Usually at 3 in the morning." Shh. She tilted her head. "And what do they conclude?" "That we're messy," he said. "Emotional. Hard to categorize." Her ears relaxed. "The galaxy agrees." "Right." He smiled. "We take that as a compliment." She considered him for a moment. "You do not try to fix what you do not understand," she said. "You sit with it instead." "Yeah," he said. "Sometimes that's all we've got." The Galactic Council released a new classification months later. It was brief, almost understated. Humans were recognized as a social keystone species. Not because they were strongest, not because they were smartest, but because when they arrived, systems adjusted around them. Isolation decreased, cooperation increased. Recovery accelerated. Some species resisted the idea. Others embraced it. But none could ignore the data. On Station L77, life went on. One evening, Aaron returned late from a shift, exhausted but clear-headed. He found Lyrian already resting, her breathing slow and even. Her tail lay curled peacefully beside her. He paused at the doorway, watching her. She woke a moment later, as if sensing him. "You are tired," she said. "Yeah," he admitted. "Long day." She shifted slightly, making space beside her. He hesitated only a second before sitting. They did not speak. They did not need to. Outside, the galaxy continued its slow adjustment. Species learned that survival was not always about standing alone. Sometimes, it was about knowing when to sit quietly beside someone else. Lyrian's tail brushed lightly against Aaron's hand, not asking, just acknowledging. He smiled. For all its rules and technologies and endless debates, the galaxy had missed something simple. Humans had not. And now, neither would anyone else. Because sometimes, the thing that changed everything was not a weapon, not a command, not a grand idea, just a moment of understanding, and the willingness to stay.